Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI F1 World Championship. We're today for the penultimate round, the Australian Grand Prix. We're on board with the reserve driver Zakis today on debut. Let's see what he can do for us. Let's see what his pace is like. No one's set a lap yet. We've had a couple of invalidations. We've also got a couple drivers serving qualifying and tyre penalty sanctions. So, Sidewinder, that's why he's retired already. Can't set a qualifying lap time. Robbo, Zingy, and Egapro all have tyre penalties, and that is Zakis unfortunately invalidating right there on the end. A 19.0 it would have been, so not too far up the order. Nifojan's going again on this same tyre already. Well, I don't know what they're thinking is there. Cohen, 3 laps on a set of softs?
Yeah, that's quite much. The tyre deck is, it's pretty high around here, I would say. But Nifo is extending it. Maybe put a lot of fuel in the car and knew that it would be very hard to keep it in track limits, of course, as he's almost invalidating again. And now finishing off his first sector. Let's see if it will be purple, of course, because no one said a sector time yet. But it's a good first sector, so he's making it work on those old softs right now.
I mean, there are some circuits in this game that you do really struggle to warm up those tyres. I know Brazil and Austria, because there's so many straights, it's actually hard to get it up to temperature. Australia, I wouldn't really think it's that kind of circuit. And there you go, there's the dead tyres in qualifying. They're never going to work, unfortunately. So maybe he was trying to just get the tyres really warmed up, and sometimes it does work. And in real life, actually, I think it was in real life, I think they were actually doing multiple runs to try and keep the tyres up to temperature. That is surely going to be a pit stop. 11 minutes on the clock. They've still got a long time to go. No one else is out on the pit in the pit lane, or out on track, I should say. So we've got Heisler, Egapro, Zingy, and Niffer and Sidewinder, all as current tier drivers, and only 2 of them don't have sanctions. So that's Heisler and Nifojan, who are going to go all out. And Dave Raptors and Zakis, they don't have Zakis, they don't have sanctions either. So there's not many people that can just go out whenever they want.
Yeah, that's very crucial, of course. Nifo has that advantage now over Zingy, which is of course good for him in that very tight championship battle. Nifo, of course, winning in Brazil, I think so.
Yes, he did. Double win.
So he took a lot of points over there, and I think he's trying to look for another win over here, of course, as we have Dave Raptors now on his outlap in the Mercedes.
Lovely stuff from him. Let's see how this one goes, and if he is going to be the first one to set a lap time. Is he going to put it on pole? Well, he has to put it on pole. It's the only option you have at the moment. Well, Sidewinder, he's not even in the lobby or in the session, and he's on pole position. Right now, if nobody sets any lap time, he'll have a qualifying ban, but still start first, which would be pretty impressive. I doubt that's going to happen, but we'll wait and see. This circuit is very, very difficult to get right, as we've seen so far with all the track limit warnings. The curbs can be very, very tricky. Also, it's kind of like there's a lot of high-speed flowing corners or corners that you're trying to send it through, which really makes it very difficult on the track limits, especially, of course, the very, very high-speed chicane, if you like, of turns. I'm going to get this completely wrong. 8 and 9. It's not. Yes, it is. 8 and 9. Yeah. Very, very high-speed chicane, which you can easily get wrong. If you've got a good setup, you will be able to ride the gravel or go into the gravel and keep it flat. I do that. It's not recommended, but it's just where I spend most of my time in time trial. Now, Dave Raptors, you just watch him on board, and he was very, very, very twitchy throughout the first part of this lap. He's really trying to rag it around. Is that going to be quick? We will not know until later on in the session. He was so close to invalidating in multiple areas on the circuit, especially as it turned 2, as he tries to get the car rotated, and then it slightly over-rotates, having to lift off the throttle a little bit. We're going to go into the high-speed chicane. Let's see how he does it. Rides over that entry curb and, of course, the exit curb. Lovely stuff indeed. We go down the straight, just hoping that that run was good enough. And then we get into turns 11. You brake as late as you can, miss that red chunky curb, and he's backed off. He's invalidated. So That is a heck of a shame, and he's not going to go on pole position. It is going to be Heisler who's going to be on provisional pole, if I'm correct.
Yeah, if he finishes his lap, he will. But Sidewinder is still in pole position for the moment being. So he will probably like this at the moment. As you saw with Dave Raptors, in the first sector it was very unstable, and then in the second sector it was looking a bit better, but unfortunately invalidating, of course. As we now are on board with Gijs, going through the fast chicane, missing the apex a bit and not cutting it optimal, but it's still good. He's on the purple sector 2, of course. Nobody said a lap yet, but let's see how he does through turn 11. Hopefully he does not invalidate. He doesn't. He keeps it on the tarmac as he's running very wide and then losing it almost. Whoa, how did he manage to keep that on track? That was quite good, as he now opts to the pit lane. So Sidewinder is still on pole position. I don't know
Absolutely
how.
incredible. And Zerkus is actually invalidated. He's got a couple cars behind him which have been slightly impeded. That's not ideal. Nifojan is going to be the next one out. I think Dave Raptors must have had an issue. I don't know if there was a bit of contact, but that's going to have to be noted down, of course. But Nifojan goes out again. He's got enough for 2 runs, but the longer these guys spend not setting lap times, the better for those guys who've got sanctions, because now they have a lot less pressure to just get 1 lap done, because everybody else pretty much has 1 lap, maybe 2 at most, but nothing more than that now. Really not sure what happened to Dave Raptors there. We are going to go on board with Nifo, Jan, and see what we can find with them. Will they keep this lap valid this time and be the first one to set a lap time? All they need to do is just keep it tidy. They've still got a final run to go. You just want to get a banker in and secure it, because it's exactly for situations like these. If you have at least a slight steady lap time, you're gonna be up there at least, just in case other people don't set anything. Now it's coming through nice and smoothly. Doesn't really seem like he was pushing it too hard through turns 6 and 7. So I think he's definitely changed the attitude compared to what he was doing on the first run in the opening part of this session.
Yeah, Nifo taking it a bit more carefully, as he's almost losing the car when I say that, but he keeps it on the track, so good job by him as he goes into turn 11. Hopefully he does not invalidate like the last time. Outbraking himself a bit, but all good, and his fast right-hander, turn 12, and then into the last corners. Really heavy braking zones, and you won't touch the outside curb because you will spin, as he's now lining it up for the finish straight, and let's see what Nifojan can do.
What was the time gonna be? And it's gonna be a 17.7. Lovely stuff. Finally, we do get somebody putting something on the board. It's a very, very long run to the line, actually. It's pretty unique to the circuit. I don't think too many circuits have that. We do have Zingy, who is now going to be setting their first lap. They've opted for the soft tyre. I think they're probably going to try and do an out lap, a flying lap, a cooldown lap, and then another flying lap. I don't think they're going to be going into the pit lane again. There are a couple disadvantages. Of course, a heavy car, and you might not be able to save all that energy once again, but you will have less tyre wear at the end of that run. DRS will be available. Will he be able to try and push for 17.7? He's got a lot more to lose in qualifying, a lot less to lose in the race. I think actually if Zingy finishes 5th, I think it's pretty much his championship. I think there's a very small chance that that Nifo can come back from that. I think there is a theoretical chance, but if he finishes 5th, was it? Yeah, 5th. He should be good to go. Purple first sector, so he's pushing quite nicely at the moment. Nifojan, of course, has still got another lap to do. They can set another lap with fresh tyres, everything to play for. It's just, will it be enough to catch the Zingy? Will Zingy be able to go and set provisional pole on 1 lap? I think he's still going to go for that second lap, though. Seems very, very comfortable through the far chicane. Wasn't really losing it on exit. Maybe he's not pushing so hard. Lots of people missing their braking point into turn 11. It seems like a really weak point for pretty much everyone, and I'm not criticising them because it's such a difficult part of the circuit in general. And here we go, the most difficult corner of all time, the final corner at Australia. Now, what's it going to be for Zingy across the line? And that is going to be a 17.2, a fair way in front, about half a second in front of his teammate on one lap, and he's still going to go again.
Yeah, well done by Zingy, just going out and putting in that lap immediately, as he will now try and recuperate some energy and try and go for the next lap. Although I think the tires will drop off, but maybe he made a mistake somewhere and can improve massive, but we'll see. As Robbo now starts his lap, trying of course also to get that lap in with his penalty, as he's now going through the first sector. Going through that tough left-hander, very hard on exit. A lot of people can invalidate over there, this full throttle, but it's very sketchy because you lose the back end very easily, as he does a very good middle sector, so that's well done by Robbo as he now enters the long straight.
Brilliant job from him so far. Obviously, he doesn't really have anything to lose at the moment. He's just trying to get some good data in for tomorrow. He has got a lot to, a lot to gain actually compared to what to lose in tomorrow's championship. So this is all going to be useful for him, and he's going to make sure that he doesn't do that tomorrow in qualifying, because that is going to ruin his day. He can still get another lap in. Is it going to be enough though? We'll have to wait and see. Right now he's still going to be P4 regardless. I think we will get a couple people setting lap times. Igapro is still valid, but he did have a spin, so I don't know if it's going to count on the board at all or not. And then we'll go over to Zakas to see what he's doing. It will count on the board, so he's currently P3, which is pretty good. And we will go on board with Zakas now. Had a bit of an issue earlier on, and I don't know what was happening. It was just off camera, so we won't be able to see it there. Getting very nice and close to the wall on entry. On the exit, ride that exit curb. Well, the entry to turn 9 actually, and you can ride it, but you have to send it or just not ride it at all. You can't do it in the middle, and he does it pretty well. As we go into the final couple of corners, turns 13, 14, 15? No, this is 13? No, yes, that's 12. Yep, okay, 14. Here we go. DRS available. What's it going to be for Zakas? Is he going to be able to challenge for pole position today in Australia? No, he will not. An 18.3. It's still a lap time on the board. Only 5 people setting lap times so far, and 2 of them are with a couple of, well, I say a couple, they both have spins in their lap times or just general issues. I don't think Robbo's going to get another lap in anyway. He will not be able to set anything. Dave Raptors, he's unfortunately had an issue and his front wing is gone. Once again, Heischler is going to be looking to try and improve. Zingy has decided he's not going to go out again, so he wasn't ever intending on doing a second run. I think that extra margin of time he had was just to be a little bit cautious, of course. Heischler, what can he do? Nifferjan's going to be right behind him. So once we finish with Heischler, we will head over to the other AlphaTauri.
Yeah, Heischler now being on the long straight, going into the fast chicane. You really want to hook the insides so you can open as much to the right and straight line it, and of course pedal to the middle as soon as you possibly want to. As he now is going through turn 11, as I said, very heavily braking zone. You can easily outbrake yourself and go on that curve, which you don't want because it's really reducing your exit. As he goes through turn 13 and then a bit touching that curve, which you don't want, and as he's now lining it up for turn 14. Let's see what Gijs can do. Maybe get to P3, get to P2. You will see P3 for Gijs. Very close to Niffo though.
Lovely job. Lovely job. Nifferjan unfortunately had a mistake on that final run, so that is going to be it for them. Zingy is going to take pole position on one lap. He's going to be pretty happy with that one. Now the question is, Zingy recently coming back from a break, he's going to be in an interesting situation. And I think Nifferjan should have an edge. It's just whether they can get past him on the first few laps or not. What will we see? Will we see a repeat of maybe Hungary? They were so close together and it got very intense until the end. Zingy takes pole position, Nifferjan in P2, and then Heischler in P3. This is the rest of the grid. We're going to skim through the race director just in case if we need to later on. We will actually need to, just to double check. And we'll see you in a bit for the race. Ready? Hold! Go! Who's gonna get it into turn one? We're finally away just about. Zingy gets away extremely well. Will Niffo be able to come back? No, he'll slot into P2 side by side between the McLaren and the Red Bull. No, they slot in side by side as well. It's pretty much single file between everybody. Is anybody gonna be able to go for an overtake at all? If anything, I don't quite know. Here goes Robbo to the outside having a look on Sidewinder. It's not Robbo, it's Dave Raptors having a look. We got side by side moment of the Alpine of Robbo and Eager Pro. Not space available, and they're going to have to back out of that one and hold off for the time being. Interesting laggy situations. That is once again the game giving us some interesting servers. Sidewinder loses out a little bit, and Robbo wants to have another go if possible. Losing the car on the straight, which is very, very weird, and I think it's once again lag. He has to back off. He catches Eager Pro a little bit too early on in the straight. Nifojan, 3/10 behind. Are they going to be looking for anything soon? I don't know. Robbo once again will try and find a way through on Eager Pro. Eager Pro is going to hold that position nicely. He's staying right in front.
Yeah, Dave Raptors is the only one as Robbo loses the car. I don't think he has damage. I hope not. As I wanted to say, Dave Raptors is the only one who made up some positions, as Zakkes is now into P3 and Zingy is weaving a bit on the straight, of course, try and not give Nifogen the toe, of course, but it always still happens, so all good. But yeah, Robbo losing the car, that's not very optimal for him.
At all. Medium tyre for Zakkes, so he's going to be on pace. That's why he got past Heischler pretty early on, I guess. He's done a very good job of it so far. Just needs to make sure he gets the DRS off the cars ahead as best as he possibly can. But right now he's running in a solid third, and that is Dave Raptor's round. Is that going to be a virtual safety car possibly deployed? No. It will just be what it is. Nothing is going to be deployed. That'll be Dave Raptors to the back. I think he surely got damage. Apparently he didn't get damage. That is both Robbo and Dave Raptors down the order, but they're still in this race at least. Sidewinder dropping back a little bit, unfortunately. Eager Pro right behind Heischler. He wants to have a look at something soon, I'm sure. DRS isn't available yet. Heischler's very close to the back of that McLaren. They really do want something on this, but Nifojan 3/10 behind. They're really, really close. Dave Raptors does retire. Is it going to be a safety car? It is going to be a safety car. No one into the pit lane. It's just not worth it. Although Zakkes could have possibly gone onto the hards, but it's too late.
Yeah, and 27 laps on hards. That's quite a task to fulfill, of course, because the tire well will, of course, at the end of the race then will be very bad. Yeah, it's very sad for Dave Raptors, as Robbo now gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So that's not a very optimal race start for him, of course.
Not at all. He will be able to serve it again if he wants to. I'm wondering, is he going on to a medium tire to do either a double medium or try and risk the hard tire all the way? Regardless, I don't think he's really bothered about the 5-second too much. I think he's just going to try and get some tire data in and then carry on. We won't be under the safety car conditions for too long. We'll still be going to the end of this lap, and then the start of the next lap. I think we'll be racing on about lap 5. Zingy leads the way. He continues to lead the way, and Nifojan sits in P2. They were waiting for that DRS, and all of a sudden, when DRS is now available, the safety car comes out. So they've got a little bit of waiting to do. Although that now does bring everybody close together, and if Zingy was to make or have to defend from Nifo and there was a little bit of a mistake, Zakkes going to be right there. He's going to be right behind him to try and pick up the pieces. So this is actually not bad for Nifo at the moment regarding the championship. By the way, AlphaTauri, they have secured the constructors, so nothing to worry about there. It is just pure driver championship battles. I think we might see some interesting driving between the two because there's a lot less on the table to risk, especially as teammates.
Yeah, Zingy and Nifo are leading a lot of the races this season. And now, of course, they won that Constructors' Championship. So, Yeah, Nifo and Zingy can basically attack each other if they want to, but I think they want to work together a bit on the start. Of course, Zakas being on those fresh mediums, which is giving him an advantage. But yeah, we'll see what will happen. But I reckon for Nifo, he just goes straight for the attack.
Indeed, he just needs to make sure that he gets in front for the pit stops, because that's the problem that he's had recently. They've kind of had an agreement, at least when they were fighting for the constructors, between the two. If you're ahead within a couple laps of the pit window, you're going to stay ahead and I'm not going to overtake you. That is, I'm sure, is going to have to go away. It can't stay. Honestly, we've been watching so many races and waiting for the overtake to happen, and it's just not happened between these two. This time, I'm sure it's going to change. It's going to have to change. There's going to be some overtakes before the pit stops. I think it's going to probably get pretty feisty, because whoever does get ahead gets priority, and that's going to be extremely beneficial. Current, I don't know if you know the answer to this question, but do you know, is the undercut or the overcut better at this circuit?
Probably the undercut will be stronger. These guys will be pitting around, I reckon, lap 18, something like that. And the tire wear will be very high at that point. So yeah, you can easily warm up those tires as the safety cars now going into the pit box. But yeah, I think the undercut will be stronger. But yeah, we'll see at that time, I guess.
For sure, we will. Here we go. Zingy is going to lead the way for the restart. Nifojan will be the one to react to the battle of the Alpha Tauris. Interesting server lag once again. When will Zingy go for it? He's already gone for it. There's no communication between the two AlphaTauris today. So Nifojan is just going by judgment. Almost lost the car as they absolutely smashed the throttle to the floor. Zakas right there. There's a car off in the background. That's Sidewinder, unfortunately. Heischler looking very close to the back of the McLaren. Not going to be able to do anything just yet unless they can secure a good exit. Looks like they're going to challenge, as that is a mistake from the McLaren into the braking zone, left or right. Gonna go right as Zakas tries to take the racing line. Leaves the space, but Heischler backs out in the end.
Yeah, I expected Gijs to outbrake Zakas at that point, but yeah, he backed out and chose to stay behind and maybe attack at a different position, maybe on this long straight, of course, while he's being so close to Zakas, still 3/10 off, so he will spam the ERS absolutely if he wants to make an overtake at the end of the straight, but he's not using the ERS at the moment, so I think he's just staying behind as Nifo is now back within the second of Zingy.
It's just going to be the long game, lap 5 out of 29. This is a very, very tough race. It's quite, I don't want to say it, in the game at least, it's a fairly boring circuit. So it's very, very easy to lose focus. So if you can just have a car right in front of you to make sure that you're in check, then that's going to be good for you, of course. Nifojan had that to 7/10. All of a sudden just lost it. So they need to make sure that they get their final sector hooked up. Otherwise, they're not going to be within DRS range and they're going to lose out big time. I do wonder what's going on here, as that is a fastest lap from Zingy, 21.9 there for Robbo actually compared to Zingy's lap time, so improving by quite a nice amount there. Some severe lag, and I really do apologise everyone that this is happening. There's literally no explanation for it. I do not understand what is going on. It's happened for months now. It seems to be maybe just a problem that I'm having, so I'll try and have a look. Maybe I'll reinstall the game, but we'll see how it goes later on in this race, if it really needs to be like that. Nifojan gets a time penalty already. It's lap 6 and they got a time penalty. They're not within DRS range of Zingy. That is an extreme mental advantage. They're going to try and get the DRS here. Do you even get DRS on this lap? I don't think you do. No, you don't. So they've pushed so early to try and get that. If they make a mistake in this final sector, they are done.
Yeah, it's very crucial for Nifo now to stay in the DRS zone of Zingy. If he loses it at this moment, it will be probably a very, very bad cause. But he still has it. I think he will get DRS at this lap. Or no, it's still not enabled, of course. But yeah, hopefully he can get it at the end of the straight. But it's already 1.3 seconds now, so that will be very hard.
It's going to be so difficult. He's very strong in that final sector. It's absolutely incredible Nifojan should have the advantage in a straight line though. He just needs to push a little bit harder if he wants to get that DRS. But Zingy is loving life. He doesn't have a time penalty. He doesn't need to worry about DRS as of now. And he's got a full battery in that car. He can literally just push on the energy whenever he wants to. So he's loving it at the moment. And right now he is on course to take the championship. I'm not going to celebrate at the end of this race. I'll celebrate at the end of next week's race just in case, because I want to calculate it. I don't want to get it wrong. But right now, he is in a very strong position. Nifojan, however, has managed to defy all odds and get up to speed and now is strongly in that DRS range.
Yeah, it's very important for Nifo now to stay in the DRS and recuperate some energy, of course. He had to use a lot to try and get into Zingy's in the DRS window, of course. So now he has to recuperate some energy and try and just stay behind Zingy.
Yeah, absolutely mental in this final sector. This time, Nifo, I was going to say they'll be able to hold on. Yeah, I think they've lost it. They got way too aggressive on the throttle. They will get double DRS, but now Zakas is going to be right behind. And that's a 7/10 the gap. We're going to have a look with Eager Pro and Robbo momentarily, but I think the double DRS is going to be way too powerful and Robbo's not going to have a chance at getting an overtake just yet. Maybe, no, they will not. That's Heischler sat right behind Zakas. They were trying to size up a move, of course, when Zakas' tyres decided to switch over performance-wise, which wouldn't be that long away, but Nifojan is very close in front. That could definitely change. You know, when Nifojan is angry, usually they can go pretty quick. They've almost lost it. They might have a little bit of damage. I was just going to say they can go very quick, very often. But right now, they don't have any battery to fight with. They're going to lose out so much here. They're going to have to slot behind the Aston Martin. It's all bubbling up, and it's not going to plan. So close up in front as well. Here we go. Heischler going to have a look on the McLaren. They really want to make it work right now. Side by side through the corner. They're going to have to leave the space. It's contact! I do not believe it! I do not believe it! Zakas is out of this race. Other cars were involved. Nifo's got damage. Robbo, I assume he's got damage, and Eager Pro definitely has something on that. That is absolutely crazy. Lots of drivers having damage from that incident. I don't know what happened.
I don't know either. I don't. All of a sudden there was a pile up of cars. I feel very bad for Zakas because it feels like he was just driving there and all of a sudden they crashed. It's very weird. So Nifojan has front wing damage, I think. Robo has as well, and then Eager Pro has also front wing damage. So something happened between the four of them. Yeah, but very interesting stuff. As Gijs now takes the lead, staying out. So that's a very interesting strategy.
Yeah, definitely interesting from him. It's going to be difficult to take medium tyres to 20 laps, although not impossible. So, yeah, I think definitely a pit stop gap is probably more powerful than old tyres regarding the situation that we're in right now. So, yeah, Zingy taking that choice to pit. Both Red Bulls going to stay out to try and get some track position, which may work. And we've had a couple of situations already. Now, I want to have a quick look at this. 6 drivers remaining in this race. That's 6 drivers, and Zingy needs to finish 5th. And even if he finishes 6th, he's only got a couple more points that he needs to score, and he will take the championship in that final race. At the moment, for Nifo, Zingy, he just needs to DNF, really. Never say never, but right now, Zingy has nothing to worry about. Nothing to really... Well, he's got a bit to gain, but not much to gain. He's got everything to lose. He can literally relax in this race. As long as he scores some points, he's absolutely fine.
Yeah, Zingy can just... if he clears Gijs immediately, I don't know if he wants to do that, because you don't want to take the risk of having a collision, of course. But Zingy just needs to take his time and stay relaxed. But I think he will do that because he has all the cards in his hands, so he has nothing to worry about.
Indeed. Now, Nifojan's got a lot of work to do, not going to be impossible. We're only on lap 10 out of 29, we've got a long way to go. And, of course, time penalties can definitely rack up, regardless of who you are. It's definitely going to be a difficult thing to manage. So a couple of drivers might have warnings. We're actually going to quickly have a look at the warnings while we can, and hopefully the game... Oh, never mind. I was going to say hopefully it doesn't give us a bug and not let us exit the menu, but it hasn't even let us enter the menu. Lovely. Don't need to worry about that. Perfect. Right, Heisch leads the way. He's going to be the one to go for the restart, and then we'll see what happens. I just want to quickly see what happened to Zakas. He said, I don't even know how I went around. I've never had anything like that happen. Anyway, it's a shame. It was nice to race up to this point. So he actually just spun the car, I think, and then wrong place, wrong time for everybody behind and just ploughed into him. So that is really, really unfortunate. Safety car already called in this lap.
Yeah, that's very quickly. Gijs will now, of course, determine the pace. I think he will just slow down a lot so he can decide where he wants to go. Will he do the same as Singy, or will he wait to the finish straight? I don't know. As I wanted to talk about Zakus, that's just very fortunate because it's a very hard corner, so it's easy to lose it on traction. It's unfortunate to the other guys the game didn't ghost Zakus, because else I don't think this would have happened, but yeah.
For sure. Alright, Heischler's going to be the one to go. Zingy's the one to react. I think Heischler's best option is to go as long as he can to get those tyres warmed up, but to also prevent Zingy from getting a nice run, because he's on that medium tyre, which is going to be pretty grippy. He'll be able to secure a pretty good exit. I think he's not even gone for it yet, so he is going very, very late. That's exactly what he needed to do. He's gone for it right now. Let's see how this is going to work. Will Heischler be able to hold on for a while? Robbo losing the car, but still managing to get very, very close. And are they going to go side by side? No, they'll back off momentarily. And they're going to try and have another go, but no, riding that curve a little bit too hard. Zingy, is he going to try and send it on the Red Bull? He is going to try and send it on the Red Bull. Space is left just about. He's risking absolutely everything. He really wants to hold it. Space is not going to be available. Oh, Heischler really knows what he wants to do. He wants to be leading this race for longer. Zingy's got a lot to think about. Is it really worth the risk?
Yeah, Zingy trying to outbrake Gijs into turn 3, but Gijs braked very late and gave as much space as he could, and he did that very well as they're now on the long straight, and Zingy is now closing in. He's going for the... Oh, he's not going to do it right here, right? Oh, he's going to really... Oh, that was very close. Zingy makes the move and passes Gijs. He was risking everything at that moment, but okay.
Epic. That was absolutely epic. That was very, very nicely done. Just about managed to make it work. Robbo very close to the back of Sidewinder, looking for overtakes earlier on. They weren't able to find them. They really want to have another go. That's the other Red Bull. The Red Bull's off. Heischler is going to split them up. He's going to lose even more time now. That is such a shame for him. He's trying to go slightly defensive, move to the inside. Is that really going to be the best way through turn 1? I don't think so at all. Understeer, and that is the car round. That is definitely never ever going to work around a corner like that. What a shame. Nifojan loses the run to Eagerpro. Eagerpro is going to try and sweep around the outside. Side by side, they'll have to leave the space. Now he has the inside line to turn 5, though. It's not going to be possible to go side by side there. Nifojan will just about hold on, but they've got a lot of work to do and 2 Red Bulls to clear.
Yeah, you can't go side by side through turn 1 unless you go very slow, of course, but it's just so hard to go side by side because the one on the inside will touch the apex, and then his car will go to the outside where the other guy is, of course. So that's not very optimal. But yeah, Robbo now is 3.7 seconds behind. He just needs to find his groove again, and then he can probably catch up to the other guys. As Nifo is now behind Gijs, holding his position, of course, against Eager Pro, while they were side by side as well. That was very good racing by both of them.
Yeah, Robbo's still in this race, only lost 3 seconds from that spin, so that's actually pretty good going regarding the spin. Heisch right in front. Nifojan's going to want to try and get through soon. Lots of drivers very, very high on the energy because they obviously just come out of a safety car restart, although Heichler spent so much energy trying to stay in front of Zingy that they are now actually going to be under threat from Nifojan. Will Nifojan try and go for a move here? No, they will not. They're going to sit behind for now, and if they're not careful, they're going to fall victim to a DRS train because the two Red Bulls are very close together. Not that close, but they are still close enough together. So I think Nifojan, he's got to go for a move, almost like what Zingy did just earlier on, otherwise it's not going to be going according to plan.
Yeah, Nifo's now spamming on the ERS, going for the same move maybe as Zingy, but I think he will do it probably earlier as he already passed Gijs at this point, so that's very good by him. He's now charging onto Sidewinder.
Lovely, lovely stuff. He's going to get DRS at some point soon. On the next lap, this is going to set him up very, very nicely. Looks like he even wants to have a go already. He's just making sure that he's nice and close to keep that pressure on Sidewinder. And then he's got clean air until his teammate, which he really needs to try and catch up to. And hope that there's a miracle. There's a mistake there for Sidewinder. He's going to compromise his entry. That's going to allow Nifo to get a very nice exit, and I think that's going to be the position game.
Yeah, very good exit by Nifo, and also opening up that DRS, of course, which is very overpowered, as he's already past Sidewinder at that moment, as he loses the car a bit out of turn 1 and 2. But all good, he still has a DRS, and now there's a 4.6 second gap to his teammate, which is quite big, of course. But maybe if Zingy makes a mistake and he can get his groove and get a good pace, then maybe he can close in.
Definitely very close to the back as well, as we had Igapro having a look left and right on Heichler. He's on that medium tyre, so he really wants to try and make some progress right now. So close, he actually has to lift to avoid contact, so he's really wanting to try and get past these hard tyre runners, but they're not that easy to find a way through. ERS is an excess for Igor, and DRS is going to be available, so that top speed is going to be very nice for him. DRS will be available, even though he's in the DRS train. The extra advantage that you have is just so superior. He has the grip as well. That is going to be Heichler backing out and letting him go. Now his teammate is going to be up next. Will Heichler be able to use Igapro as a tool to try and catch up and pass his teammate? That is the question. It's what you can do, it's just can you execute it to perfection or not? I do not know. DRS not available for Sidewinder, as Nifo does hold a P2 very nicely. 5 seconds behind though as Zingy goes for fastest lap.
As I said, Robo will catch up, and he's already in the... he's not in the DRS yet, but he's in the 1 second gap of DRS. So Robo having very strong pace, as all the other guys are battling, of course. So this will be a 4-man train right now.
Lovely stuff indeed. Igapro is now going to be very close to making an overtake. Where will he go for it though? Listen, it's actually quite popular on the non-DRS straight, because if you get it right, you can really force the other driver to back out and then just get a nice DRS straight to make sure you secure that move. Really, turn 3 is going to be the best idea. This is still a very good place to overtake this back straight. He gets a very nice exit compared to Sidewinder, can get on the throttle nice and early. DRS is available to the outside line, which in my opinion is the superior one, and he's just going to let him go as well. Now it is going to be Heichler sat behind his teammate, and Robbo putting that pressure on massively with a very nice medium tyre.
Yeah, Robo is really fast. He looks like he has a lot of grip, as Igapro as well, because Igapro also, of course, moving through the field as Robo loses it, the back end, and now lost his front wing. I don't think that will... Yes, it will be a safety car.
A full safety car just for a front wing loss. Once again, it's definitely bringing everything all together, and it's stressing Zingy out a little bit more, of course, because he's now got a lot of hard work to do once again. So yeah, that's a heck of a shame for Zingy. Nifojan, it does help him. It does also make that time penalty a little bit riskier, but now you have more to think about. Maybe Zingy's going to end up getting himself a time penalty anyway. We'll have to wait and see how it goes, but it's going to allow everybody to close up, and Nifojan will be back in P2, depending on how the pit stops go, if they make any pit stops. Curran, if you are Zingy, Nifojan, or Igapro, or Sidewinder, or Heichler or Robbo, are you going to make a pit stop?
well, I think they all have another set of mediums, so they probably can opt for it because these mediums will drop off very hard because they took it on lap 9, I think. So 20 laps on the mediums is a lot, and the tire deck will be very high. So I think Zingy will go for the pit, but I'll have to see. If he does not go and the rest goes, then he will be very screwed. But he's going into the pit, as I said. Nifo now has to drop a gap so he doesn't get hindered by it and get overtaken by Igor in the pit, but he's slowing down a lot, so I think he will be fine. But yeah, they're all going for the pit strategy, so
Yeah, it's definitely ideal. I think the 6-second gap is the ideal gap to get a perfect stop. It's not bad, but they did have to wait a very slight little bit. Will Igapro be able to jump them, though, in the pit lane? He did jump them. So that is a position gain for the Aston Martin. That is going to be very nice for him. And perfect for Zingy. Very good for Zingy. So that is going to be probably the last pit stop. I doubt we're going to be going on to softs. The softs just die so quickly around a circuit like this. So that is going to be it. If we do get any more safety cars, it's just going to be about catching up to the grid, of course. Now, Nifojan has to be extremely aggressive. He has to make sure that he gets past Igapro as soon as he possibly can. Igapro's got nothing to lose. He's just going to be going for the best position possible. So it will really depend on how aggressive Nifo goes. Does Nifo go so aggressive that he's risking colliding with Igapro and Igapro backs out? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But Zingy leads the way once again. And I think, have we got we still got one more lap to go. I think we still got one more lap to go.
yeah, I think Nifo is sensible enough to not go for a big send. Of course, he will be aggressive as he has to, but yeah, we will not risk a very stupid move. I think it's not good for Igapro as well because he's of course in the P2 position, which is very good by him, and he's looking very quick as well. So I don't think it will be that easy for Nifo to overtake Igapro, to be honest.
Not at all. He's going to really try and push it. It really depends on what setup you're using as well. It's a very crucial part around this circuit setup-wise. We've seen a big difference between Nifojan and Zingy setup-wise. They've had some interesting situations. I think Zingy has gone pretty high compared to Nifo, at least on the downforce. He was extremely quick in that final sector and pretty quick in the first sector, whereas Nifo had him covered in that middle sector. All Nifo needs to do is get that DRS. He'll have an extreme advantage like he did in the opening laps of this race, and then Zingy's not going to be able to relax, and he's really going to put him under pressure. And if that is the situation, I think I think he has to go for the overtake and just try and lead the way, because then Zingy will be in dirty air and might be at risk of getting a time penalty. If not, though, if he does sit behind, Zingy's just going to relax. He doesn't need to care. He can't sit behind. Nifo has to go for the lead as soon as he can.
Yeah, Nifo has all to play for, of course. He needs to go for it, as Zingy just, yeah, he can afford to lose some positions. He probably does not want to lose some positions because he wants to get that victory, of course. But yeah, Igapro is in a very good position as well. He can maybe benefit from everything what's happening around him. So yeah, it will be very exciting to see.
Indeed, he's got a lot of work to do. That 3 second is going to be crucial for Nifo. Even if he does get ahead of Zingy, he's got to be so much quicker in order to escape. And of course, with DRS, you're going to have to be even quicker than that. So yeah, it's definitely going to be hard to manage. That is Nifojan going side by side with Igapro under the safety car conditions. That's an interesting one. He's got to be very careful with that one. Zingy's going to lead the way, and Igapro's going to be the one to react, as we will go for the restart on lap 19 out of 29. Very slow is Zingy going. He's really going to try and let that safety car go in and go nice and early. we're going to have about 11 laps of racing remaining. He's already gone for the restart, so he's definitely pushing. And Robbo and Heichler are still warming up their tyres. They are long gone, and they're still warming up their tyres. Eager Pro reacted nicely, but they just lost the car a little bit. That's a big gap, and that's actually brilliant for Nifojan, because now he's got a lot less work to do to try and get past Eager Pro. He's just got a little bit more work to do to try and catch up to Zingy once he does get past Eager Pro, if he does get past Eager Pro. But that was a very, very chaotic, if you like, restart. Nifojan, is he going to go for the move though? DRS isn't available. He's going to go full send no. ERS is deployed. Everything is going to be thrown at this one. Eager Pro's going to have to leave the space as Nifo is there, but he cannot hold it around the outside. That is perfect defending from Eager Pro right there. Nifojan, he has to make the move this lap, otherwise it's going to be all over.
Yeah, Eager Pro with a very solid defense, as they are both losing so much time towards Zingy now, as Nifojan makes a little mistake on the exit. But yeah, now it's very difficult to overtake at this point of the track, of course. I think he just needs to wait and line it up with DRS, or just needs to wait for Eager Pro to make a mistake. But yeah, Robbo and Gijs were both sleeping on the safety car restart, so that's not very optimal for them, of course.
Not at all. Nifojan's still not looking for a move just about yet. Is there anything going to be further back? Doesn't seem like I'm able to scroll back. I do apologise. Heichler very close to the back of Robbo. Not really close enough to make a move though. They're now on more or less equal tyres compared to the hard tyres, so we should see a little bit more play in the grip, of course. A 19.9, a new fastest lap there for Zingy. Lovely stuff. Nifojan though, this is his chance. He's got to make sure that he pushes with everything. Is he going to try and make it work though? I don't quite know. No, he's going to sit behind. He realised how much time he lost by trying to go side by side into this section. Maybe it's just best to wait for the DRS, or really push for it if you get a good exit out of turn 6 and 7. That is the question, and will it happen? Here we go. Through turn 6 and 7, he's going to have to... Yeah, there you go. Miss the curb on entry. Just try and get the traction down. All four tyres on the tarmac. But no, he's not going to be that close. He's going to gain so much on the back straight. He's on very, very low downforce. But he really does need to push hard in this corner if he wants to get a good enough run. Otherwise, Igor is just going to pull away again, as he does seem to not be too bad, honestly.
Yeah, Eager Pro is playing this very smart. He's going for the exit and using ERS at the first point of a long straight, and then just tries to position his car for the corner and the next exit, as it's working very good for him. Now, on this lap, or probably on the next one, DRS will be enabled, so that will make it a lot more difficult for Eager Pro to defend and a bit easier for Nifo to attack.
Will that be the case, or when Eager Pro decide to let Nifo go and try and hold on to DRS himself? That is a possible opportunity. Maybe it's just an incentive for Eager Pro to let him go, but no, he doesn't decide to do that. He's still going to try and hold on. 2.5 seconds is the gap that Zingy's got, so it's not really going anywhere. It's not really extending or losing. It's just kind of sitting where it is at the moment. So a pretty good job for Eager Pro, as he does have pressure from the cars behind, of course. This time Nifojan is a lot closer than before. Is he going to push for the move? I don't think he will. DRS is going to be available, and then he's going to go full on the battery. He's so close, but he's not going to go for it. It would be very, very silly to do so. Eager Pro missing the first entry curb. He does get a pretty decent exit, but no, here we go. Look at this. Nifojan. That is absolutely incredible straight line speed. He is gone. Eager Pro's just forgotten about it. He doesn't even care.
That's some insane straight line speed by Nifojan. Just really easy passing. I did not expect that much from DRS to be that overpowered. Now Eager Pro, of course, has that DRS, so maybe he can just stay close to Nifojan, as he has also got Sidewinder behind him, and he doesn't want to lose his podium position, of course, and also want to be in the range of that 3-second time penalty, of course, from Nifo. So yeah, he will need to push a lot.
Got a lot to hold on to. Here we go though. Robbo further behind is going to have a look on Sidewinder. They go for the bit of a send. and Sidewinder's not even going to bother about it. They're just going to sit behind and let him go. It's really not worth it. First race back, so great to see Sidewinder again after a very nice breakaway. I hope he enjoyed it. It's a very good job to see him back, and he's in the pack at the moment. Yeah, we've had a few safety cars, but he's just getting warmed back up, and then we'll see him, of course, for Abu Dhabi. Nice and pacey, I'm sure, once again. His teammate, though, is having a look at him on the straight, getting a very nice run. He's going to go for it already. Sidewinder, once again, just not going to bother. Although, Heischler's, his entry to that corner was very compromised. No, he'll still secure a nice exit. It's a very good job from him. Robbo now in P4, closing up to EagerPro. As they lock up while I talk about them, I do apologise. Will he try and go for a move on EagerPro, or is he just going to try and sit behind and keep consistent for tomorrow?
Yeah, Robbo probably wants to make a move, of course. Taking a podium position in F1 will be very good for him. But yeah, as you say, he's also just trying to understand the car and the tire in these conditions, and getting as much as experience from tomorrow as he probably can.
Indeed, indeed. Now, EagerPro is holding on nicely. They're not really losing out or gaining too much on Nifajan. There's not really any pressure to. They've got the DRS, and they do seem to have the downforce advantage in the corners. So that's always going to help them. Now, Nifajan is in front. That's still a 2.5 second gap. So maybe Zingy was just kind of saving earlier on. Now he's pushing maybe a little bit harder. That is a yellow. That is Heischer, unfortunately, around, and he's going to have a little bit more work to do to try and get back ahead of his teammate. We're actually already on lap 23 out of 29. So Zingy is absolutely loving this, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, right now he's going to be going for that championship win already. He's done a phenomenal job. He's still got a long way to go, though, so I'm not really going to jinx it too much.
Yeah, Zingy is loving life at the moment. Has a comfortable lead, of course, and he doesn't need to push that hard at the moment. He can just be conservative and don't take a lot of risks. As EagerPro is still behind Nifo using DRS and has a lot of ERS to play with, while Nifo is not having that much of ERS. So maybe EagerPro will try and go for attack. It's not necessary, of course, Nifo having that time penalty, but maybe he wants to win it on track, of course.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's all to play for. If Nifo's not going to catch up to Zingy, then he's just going to try and do everything he possibly can. It's definitely worth it, of course. For his sake, that is now a 3 second gap. Of course, that's in the corners section, which definitely isn't Nifo's strong point today, so he'll probably catch up nicely on the straights. But yeah, EagerPro is definitely going to spot this weakness and going to want to probably try and push for a move. He's also got not really too much pressure behind. Might have Robbo catch up a little bit later, but he's not really going to be worrying about that significantly at the moment. Nifajan, very, very loose over the curve on the final corner of that last lap, so he might have even got himself an extra warning. May have to go even more conservative. I thought that was Zingy getting a time penalty then. That would have been very crazy, but no, he's still leading the way by quite a nice margin, and gets into that final sector. Once again, his strong suit, and he's going to get even more time gained on Nifajan. So that's even more of a reason for EagerPro to go for a move. That's going to be another full safety car. Here we go. Here we go. Trap position or softs. Nifajan's got to go for trap position. He's got a time penalty. He has to do it.
Yeah, I think Zingy is now in a very tough spot, because if he's not going in, everybody will go in. If he's going into the pits, maybe everyone will stay out. So it's a very hard decision for Zingy. I reckon he just stays out. But yeah, Nifajan has to pit, of course. That's the best thing for him to do, to be aggressive. But we'll see in 2 sectors what it's going to be.
Yeah, it's a very similar situation to what we saw in Saudi Arabia in F1.5, and it was a crazy one. I think you had something to do with it, I'm sure. Zingy leads the way. He's going to be the one to decide. Whatever happened, whatever he does, somebody's going to do something opposite. I think Robbo, Sidewinder, they're definitely going to go for it. I think EagerPro probably has not really too much to lose either. They're going to go for it as well. Actually, Sidewinder, would he want to try and stay in front time penalty-wise? I mean, there's only 5 drivers in the grid at the moment, so yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Right, what has to happen now is Niffa has to pit, which he did not do. He didn't pit. He had to pit, then go for fastest lap, and hope that Zingy dropped to 5th. It's not going to happen. Now he's got to hope that he can somehow get fastest lap, get Zingy to drop to 5th, or get Zingy to DNF. But we're getting to the final stages of this race. Even if Zingy DNFs, he's probably going to be classed as finished. So I think that is championship done. I think that is it. Nifojan, he had to get fastest lap and hope that Zingy, well, that was actually, hope that Zingy get 5th, but it's not going to work. That's it. I think that's it. He's just going to go for the win now. I think he's pushing all out to try and get it on track.
Yeah, I don't really get why he just didn't pit, because everyone else behind him pitted, so there was not really a case to not pit. So I'm a bit flabbergasted by that. But yeah, maybe he didn't want to risk to have someone between him and Zingy, as he maybe wants to go for an overtake. But yeah, that's a odd one.
Definitely a point. I didn't see what Zingy was doing, so I don't know if he maybe tried to fake into the pit lane, and then that caused Nifojan to possibly miss the pit entry and have to just give it up. That's maybe an idea, but I think your statement there was probably a much more accurate example of what's going to happen. Safety car already in this lap. We're going to be going racing. Zingy will once again lead the way a much later call, although the nature of this circuit, you do get a lot of time to try and warm up those tyres. Once again, Zingy going very, very slow, wants to wait for that safety car to go in, and then he's definitely going to push for it. I reckon on the apex of the corner, honestly. I think he's going to be going for it right about now. Surely, there he goes. He's gone for it already. Nifojan reacts pretty nicely, so this is perfect for him. Eager Pro is going to be right there on that soft tyre. Will the soft tyre overheat by the time we get to the end of this race? It's very, very possible with the laps that we have left. But here we go for the Australian Grand Prix. Zingy leads the way. Nifojan sits in P2. It is everything on the line. He's got to send it. He's got to use all the energy to make sure that he gets that DRS and then try and go for it on that final lap. But Zingy, he has got a lot of confidence in that car.
As Eager Pro is now very close to the back of Nifojan, exactly what he wants, trying to close up as much as possible and try and overtake Nifo as soon as possible, as he's losing the car. Now it's on the grass, and Robbo overtakes him. So now that's what I said is now, yeah, it's the thing what Robbo needs to do, overtake Nifo as quick as he can to maybe have a shot at Zingy.
Nifo's not going to be easy to catch in a straight line, and look at the gain that he has on Zingy. He's gaining so much. Right here, is he going to try and go for a move on this lap? I think it's pretty much his only option to do so. Then what he has to do is try and push Zingy marginally off the circuit in the hope that he drops down the order. It's still going to be a very, very long shot. Nifojan, though, oh, what's he going to do? I really, really don't know. I don't know how this one's going to go. Come on. He's got to try and make something work. I want both of these drivers to do well. Oh, it's not going to happen. Eager Pro's going to go through into P2. I do not believe it. Pushing with everything he had. Sidewinder is in this. And somehow Robbo has lost out of that one. Oh, the Alpha Tauri goes off the circuit. Now they're going to lose even more positions. Eager Pro sits in P2. Sidewinder, and somehow, Nifojan is now last out of all of that. They pushed as best as they could in that final sector. They were giving it their absolute everything, but it's completely shattered. It's gone down to, I don't know, absolute smithereens. It's absolutely distraught. I'm just saying random words now. Zingy leads the way, up 28 out of 21. It's Eager Pro. He's doing a phenomenal job, but it's absolutely heartbreaking for Nifo.
Yeah, that's absolute crazy stuff. Nifo just losing it on the back end, out of the last corner, of course, which is a really hard corner. But yeah, that just ruined every chance of him trying to overtake Zingy on that straight, as Robbo now tries to fake, and oh, the Sidewinder outbrakes himself and is pushed Eager Pro off the track. That's heartbreaking stuff.
I didn't think it could get any worse. Honestly, that is so sad to see Eager Pro down the order on the final few laps. all the way down there. That is absolutely incredible. And that's Nifojan going to be sat in P3. They're going to get the DRS off of Robbo just to try and get anything they possibly can. But they've got no energy left and a lot of understeering to that first corner. Sidewinder all of a sudden is going to be right there. He has the inside line. He's really looking for it. Nifojan leaves the space and that's going to now lose him DRS. Sidewinder round the outside makes it work. That was absolutely incredible. Has Nifojan got a problem? Has he got damage? I don't quite know. But that is absolutely heartbreaking even further. Even further.
Yeah, it's a hard fall for Nifogen this race, as Sidewinder just had extremely good exit out of the corner, going around the outside, which was a very beautiful move by him. As now Zingy is going through the last sector, I will leave the words to you, Aaron.
What a drive. I want to quickly look. Will Nifo send it to the inside of the Red Bull? They will not. That is it. Zingy has got a couple more corners to go, and on his return, he is gonna win. What a drive today. Absolutely perfect. Lots of difficult situations to face, but he will be victorious. Zingy wins in Australia. Absolutely incredible. And Robbo gets the fastest lap in P2. Sidewinder will secure a podium position. Nifojan and Igapro at the back of the field. Zingy, I'm not going to confirm it right now, but I think that might be the championship. Absolutely incredible, and he's going to be enjoying Abu Dhabi next week. Amazing. Both drivers, what a battle this season. It's been very, very enjoyable to watch, but Zingy, absolutely, I don't know what to say. It's just brilliant from him.
Great stuff by Zingy. Taking this race win, of course, with that tire penalty, if I remember correctly, taking pole position and then just dominating this race in every aspect. Just every safety car, he outplayed it very well. Yeah, that's just it's just very well done by him. You have nothing to say about it. Very sad for Eager Pro. He should have got on the podium, but yeah, that's racing sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. Very, very well done. There is always a loser, I hate to say it. Unfortunately, it just does happen that way sometimes. We're going to quickly skim through the race director if we can, unless we're going to get lag. We're going to get lag and we're not going to even see the results. Alright, well hopefully somebody else has recorded it. We'll be back for the post-race interviews. We'll see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome back to the post-race interviews of the Australian Grand Prix where we didn't actually see the final results. Lovely stuff. That was a crazy race. Very, very well done to this man, Zingy. That was not easy with the safety cars. It definitely wasn't too easy, but you did a perfect job. You've won the championship. You are a quadruple world champion.
Yeah, that's me. I don't really know what to say.
With that one?
I found it quite draining actually, that race. The first safety car came out and I knew with my tyre wear I was not making it to the end, and I was like, oh bugger. So I decided, you know what, we'll just try and pull a gap to Niffle, which I did. Then I don't know what happened, and a second safety car came out, and from there it was just regulating the gap. So it might have seemed easy on paper, but honestly that was quite a tough race. I was quite quick, granted, but I really tried my best and I managed to win, and I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, very, very well done. It was an amazing race from you to come back and do that. So, well done. Very, very well deserved. Once again, extending your championship titles. I don't really know what to say, honestly. There wasn't really too much to say. Actually, I do have one thing. Eager Pro, he got into P2 on the sauce. Did you think you were possibly going to be compromised and possibly have to settle for P2 until the incident he was involved in?
No.
Okay.
I knew I was going to win. I knew ever since that safety car restart that there was no stress. Niffle was P2, and I thought for a slight moment there might be a bit of issue, but with Niffle trying to cling on to P2, I knew that it would be quite hard for him to defend and also keep the same pace with me, especially with people on softs. And it's unfortunate that Igor got caught up in those incidents, but I don't really mind. Well, what do you get? wrong choice of words. Wrong choice of words. Sorry.
I mean, don't really mind. That's all right. Abu Dhabi, next race. Absolutely nothing to really lose or gain. You're just going to enjoy one of your favourite circuits, I guess.
I mean,
or are you going to go for the win?
Well, I settle for nothing less than winning. That's what I come here to do. I win every week. Well, I try to at least. Not every week, but you get what I mean. I try to win every week, and I can't aim for nothing less.
Fair enough. All right, we'll see you next race. 20 seconds back. Thank you very much, and really well done today. You fully deserve that one. Absolutely incredible, and we'll of course confirm it for next race. So yeah, very, very well deserved. A great championship battle. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Beans on toast.
Thank you very much. I'll see you next time. Well done today. And that has been Zingy. We'll move on to Heisler. Crazy race. Then it wasn't a race anymore. It was over.
Yeah. To be honest, it is one of the most fun races I've had with my new wheels so far. So yeah, thankful everyone for that. But yeah, looking back at it, I've watched some footage. Could have definitely been a P2 since Niffo made a mistake and had to pit for a new win, I think. Yeah, didn't react in time for that safety car. Should have pitted on the mediums, and then I actually think I could have been P2 for a long time. But yeah, wasn't meant to be. Dropped down on the hards, and then the safety car came again. Of course, we pitted for mediums. And I think that was a safety car where I spun. Yeah, I did that brake throttle thing, which I thought I could trust, but apparently I can't trust it. Because you can't trust anything in this game. Yeah, so I spun. Robert got that position, so I was lost. And then Robert overtook Sidewinder, and I overtook Sidewinder as well. I don't know. His pace dropped off or something. Right. I spun after it, I think. I didn't have that footage, and then I was on my own, just trying to catch up to Sidewinder again because I think I could have done it. And yeah, then the game decided again to F me over. Yeah, it's weird. It's quite weird.
Very, very weird. I assume you're gonna be happy to see this game finished with next week. I'm very sorry for that one. Only upwards for the final race. Do you think you can make it count? Do you like Abu Dhabi?
Not liking it, but not disliking it.
Fair enough. I mean, hopefully more time on the wheel will help even further. So yeah,
Nah, I'm
hopefully-
not gonna practice for it. Just like I did today.
Fair enough. Well, last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
I'm done.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you.
And we move on to Nifo. Nifo, that was a roller coaster. Very, very hard to deal with. I'm not gonna say too much. I'll let you speak about that one.
Yeah, I mean, the bottle job starts in quali. Just it was an easy pull, and this the chicane, the curb there is like you have to take it, otherwise you lose too much time. But it's like it's literally a 50-50, so took it, and I lost the 50-50, and I landed on the spin side of the coin, I guess, because I went round and that was my pole position gone. And from that point on, I was already like, well, this is gonna be fun. Yeah, I keep up with Zingy. I just randomly get a gust of fucking dirty air. So I lost the car, but no damage, so I could still manage. And I was like, right, if you just keep up, I'll have the better straight line speed. If he makes a mistake, I can capitalize on that. And then just everybody in front of me decides to be in, share one chromosome, because what I've seen in front of me was absolutely atrocious. Just keep hitting each other off. I have to dodge cars, and then eventually they just all hit each other, and my front wing is gone. I get held up, lose positions. Well, yeah, this is a great start to the race. Like first 9 laps are just absolutely atrocious, and then you just get the restart. There's people sleeping. Just get completely gapped. And then once again, people, I get into P2 and I make another mistake. So Zingy drove away, and I was keeping up with him. I was driving exactly the same pace, but because of I had to battle other cars, I mean, he just had the gap, and because we drove the same pace, I'm not getting close, I'm not getting further behind. Then another safety car comes, and then people start to fight me again, and then that was the other one. He had a very good restart on me, and then couldn't get back on him. And then on the, and then as well as I just completely get pushed off. Just go into turn 1, just side by side, but apparently no room has to be left for Nifo because he's gonna back out anyway. And so yeah, just get pushed off, lose even more time. And then on the soft side, yeah, I mean, in my opinion, it was like Zingy just completely slowed down for that last corner to just like put me in front of Robbo, and then just got dirty air again and just lost the rear end again. He's basically standing still in that corner. So yeah, lose the car again, and then I get bullied again, just pushed off everywhere, and then again people start being idiots and drive into each other. So yeah, it was I could have done better. If I just got pulled, it would have been easier, but I think the race was already decided before it even started. I thought the talking during the race from Zingy wasn't the most sportive as well, but that's my personal opinion. Yeah, it was not fun to hear his voice every time during the race. But yeah, I'm done with being teammates because I've been held up in the pit lane all race long, and like being Mr. Nice Guy isn't gonna help me. Next game I'm gonna turn the line off as well, so it's gonna be I'll have no chance. It will be like a rehab basically. But yeah, this teammate thing doesn't work or give me the opportunity to win championships this way, because I have been too nice this season or been too unlucky. Really had a chance.
Very well said. Yeah, that was exactly everything that you needed to say. I can't really add to that. Well done. Abu Dhabi. Are you going to be glad to see that one done?
I can't wait to finish the season. Honestly, just one last chance, maybe get a win, just for dignity, I guess, because I think that might put a good end to a horrible season.
I think Abu Dhabi can be definitely a good track that could suit you, so hopefully you can have a good race there. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Absolute S-word show.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today, great effort. And that has been it for the post-race interviews. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. We will see you tomorrow for the Australian Grand Prix for the F1.5 EU Championships. We'll see you on, next week for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, the finale of the season. It's been a pleasure, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.